All right, Shalom. I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, those who taught me this 100% truth. Much respect to the brothers laboring worldwide in truth and sincerity. And salutations and blessings to the believers out there who's believing on the words of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai. Coming at you with a lesson, Lord willing, is edifying. So I have been meditating on this lesson earlier this week through the Spirit about how the stock market is going to crash, and this is biblical. And lo and behold, this channel that I feature often, the Epic Economist, had made a short 15-minute video regarding the same subject. But this is the Lord's will. This is the Lord's doing. He said that. Matter of fact, let's go to Habakkuk. Okay. Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2. And that's what he said is going to happen. Okay. It says, yet for, let's just read it. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2. And the Lord, Yahweh Shai, answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And that's where the process we're in. These visions that the Lord has set up of old are coming to pass. They're being made manifest, right? Let's get another precept before we begin. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 12. Okay? This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 12 and verse 26. Again, the word of the Lord, Yahweh Bashal came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come. And he prophesied of times that are afar off. Therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh shall thy power, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Let's play a little bit of this video. It says, what? A stock market crash of 80% this year, right?
The entire U.S. economy is crumbling, but stock markets are still recording a frenetic bull run, led by investors' euphoria surrounding tech stocks. However, massively overvalued tech stock prices are forming a bubble, much like the dot-com bubble of the 1990s, and we all know how things ended up back then. Several experts are alerting to the unsuitability of the markets, especially since these extraordinary prices are backed on delusional projections for the upcoming performance of our struggling economy. A meltdown is looming, and strategists say stocks might be headed to a crash of 65 to 80% by the end of this year, a collapse just as sharp as the previous housing bubble burst. That's what we're going to investigate in today's video. So, welcome to today's Epic Economist video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel to keep updated with future videos. Stocks are now at their most illogical prices we've ever seen. Economics and finance investment strategy company Plaine has recently published a review on the market's outlook for 2021, and it uncovered that in all of our history, stock prices have never been so disassociated from our economy. Evidently, Tendencies from the past crashes have taught many investors to believe that if stocks are up but the economy seems fragile, they should continue trusting stocks. But this time around, this philosophy may be deceitful, because even with the most recent stimulus pump, interest rates at zero, and the arrival of a vaccine, the improvement of the U.S. economy would mean that much more inflation would emerge, and that would be the needle that would pop the stock bubble. The year just started, and the Russell 2000 index already went up over 6%. The only other year it rose more than 6% only at the beginning of January was in 1987, when it rallied 6.8%. Then, in August of 1987, it skyrocketed an additional 23%, and it crashed a little later in the year. In view of such historical patterns, we could easily witness a massive crash in 2021. However, it's even more likely that we see this happen in the NASDAQ 100 than the small cap index due to high large cap growth valuations. Smaller caps have been considerably going up despite the decline in the economy. The Oxford Economics Recovery Tracker Index has taken a turn for the worse in the past few weeks, with the Pacific registering the lowest performance, even though the latest unemployment claims report documented a drop in claims by nearly 50%. These rates have always been volatile. This latest decline happened because 8 states reported zero unemployment assistance claims, since there was still a lot of uncertainty surrounding the extension of these benefits. But as a new package passed at the end of December, these results will be updated higher in next week's report. Considering the economic weakness due to the new wave of viral cases and lockdowns, January's report will probably convey the effects of this slowdown. The stimulus money for unemployment benefits is expected to last for 11 weeks, but roughly 12 million Americans are still out of their jobs, and it's highly unlikely all of them will find work by the end of this period. Therefore, another stimulus bill will be necessary to assist these people again. That is to say, soon enough, more artificial money will be launched into the system. Meanwhile, completely disregarding what is coming next for the economy, the NASDAQ 100 is being flooded by investor euphoria, particularly on the large cap growth segment of tech stocks. It's everywhere on the news, and it's the hottest topic when it comes to stocks. But the names that are mentioned the most are from money-losing tech firms. As the Upfinder strategist noted in the report, there is nothing that motivates interest in stocks quite like a strong bull market. The interest in FANG stocks has petered out as investors are looking for the next big thing, which is dangerous because euphoria can boost prices before we even know if the firm will be a success. If a company is priced for success, the upside is limited and the downside is large if it fails. That's why the strategists affirm that now is possibly one of the worst times ever to be searching for the next great tech stock. The chart illustrates that there's over $1 trillion worth of tech stocks with negative earnings. That figure significantly exceeds what was recorded during the tech bubble of the 1990s. Although some investors may argue that this is growth investing, it's apparent that this is not a good moment of the cycle to do so, since rates are climbing so fast. The 10-year yield is at 1.121%. That's the highest level since March 2020. But investors seem to keep ignoring the real data and falling into the mainstream media trap of an untouchable market led by a fresh set of hot stocks. Another bit of burning news everyone seems to be talking about is the fact that Elon Musk has become the richest man in the world, surpassing Jeff Bezos of Amazon. But what many fail to understand is that usually when these types of landmarks happen, it's a sign that speculation in the markets has gone way too far. We can even see another landmark portrayed in this chart as Tesla stocks went almost vertical and its market cap surpassed Facebook's, which made Tesla the fifth largest company in the United States, following only Alphabet, Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft. During the peak of the 1990s dot-com bubble in March 2000, Cisco had a market cap of $569 billion. Now, adjusting this figure according to the current inflation, Cisco's market cap peak in today's dollars would be approximately $864.9 billion. This indicates that at $836.5 billion, Tesla is closing in on Cisco's peak. Tesla's speculation has been so high that it's not only created millionaires among its shareholders, it has created deca-millionaires. These are very similar bubbles, and keeping in mind that the health crisis doesn't have a clear end in sight, and as long as the economy remains impaired, more stimulus relief will be issued to boost it. This time around, the bubble can get even larger, which means the crash would be much deeper. So, as the real economy is walking backwards, the labor market is stalling, and there is about $1 trillion worth of tech stocks that are losing money by disregarding the unsuitability of the markets. Investors are acting in a manner not seen in decades. Worried about a downfall with similar proportions to the previous housing bubble burst, Michael Burry, the investor whose billion-dollar bet against the U.S. housing market was immortalized in Michael Lewis's book, The Big Short, is warning that Tesla stocks might crash in the same fashion. Well, my last big short got bigger and bigger and bigger too, Burry tweeted last Thursday. On the same day, Tesla's stock price climbed 8%. Adding $60 billion to its market capitalization, which is equivalent to 1 General Motors, 2 Hershey's, 3 Etsy's, 4 Domino's, 10 Vonados, he disclosed. Enjoy it while it lasts. The Cyan Asset Management founder and boss alerted, calling attention to investors' dazzle. Burry revealed in December that he was shorting Tesla, and he called out CEO Elon Musk to capitalize on his electric vehicle company's current ridiculous price by issuing shares. Sell that Tesla souffle, he exclaimed. Tesla stock soared about 740% in 2020 and has jumped 16% already this year. Burry, who was portrayed by Christian Bale in the movie adaptation of The Big Short, has adopted the Twitter name Cassandra, referring to the priestess from Greek mythology who was condemned to share true prophecies but never to be believed. The same happened to Burry, who was almost universally dismissed when he anticipated that the housing bubble would burst and started snapping up credit default swaps on subprime mortgage bonds in back 2005. He faced extreme pressure from investors to return their money, but in 2007, a tsunami of mortgage defaults eventually sank the housing market, while Burry and his investors to return their money. But in 2007, a tsunami of mortgage defaults eventually sank the housing market, while Burry and his investors made $850 million in profits. One of the keys to being a successful investor is making sure you're interpreting the facts right, trusting blindly any sources.
All right, Shalom to the Akim and the Akim on Akwath on the board. Shalom, Yahabashah Shabrakatah. So what you're witnessing is the Lord breaking this place down piece by piece. All right, there's no longer going to be anywhere for this place to run from the crops, because people forget about the crops, you know, from the great famine, okay, to the economy. Then the Lord said he was going to smite Egypt with plagues as before. Matter of fact, let's go to the scriptures. let's go to an account. Let's go to the book of Psalms, right? And the Lord is attacking their economy, right? This is Psalms chapter 105, and let's start at verse 23. Israel also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. And he increased his people greatly and made them stronger than their enemies. Yeah, you know, you got to really look at things that this whole place was set up to kill Jacob, man. All right, this whole place was set up to have us dwindle in numbers, from the food, you know, to the education, to the judicial system. You know, these things were set up to destroy you, Jake. Right? So we still have grown as a people because of Yahu, Yahweh Shah. All right, just as in Egypt, they was trying to kill us off then, but the Lord increased us greatly. Right? Verse 25. And he turned their heart to hate his people and deal subtly with his servants. He sent Moses his servant and Aaron whom he had chosen, and they showed his signs among them and the wonders in the land of Ham. He sent darkness and made it dark, and they rebelled not against his word. And if you've been paying attention, these blackouts have been mysteriously going on around the world. This is part of what the Lord is preparing for this place. All right, these different things that are being set up to have Jake caught up out there. Okay, verse 29. He turned the waters into blood and showed their flesh. Their land brought forth frogs in abundance in the chambers of their kings. He spake, and there came divers sorts of flies and lice, and in all their coasts. He gave them hail for rain, and flaming fire in their land. He smote their vines also, and their fig trees, and brake the trees of their coasts. He spake, and the locusts came, and the caterpillars, and that without number, and did eat up all the herbs of the land, and devoured the fruit of their ground. What is that? The Lord took out Egypt economy. All right, he's doing the same thing now. All right, this stock market crash is biblical. All right, the scripture said that which is, matter of fact, let's go get it. Okay? And if you have the eyes to see, you can see this thing playing out on all scales. All right, it's just a matter of time. It's like one thing hinging on another. All right, you did. I seen the video that I'm on Abad just put up featuring a video that Yahweh the Maccabees made regarding this Jake. Talking about these different things that's going to come down the pipe. All right, this is the Lord's doing. All right, and if you haven't been seeking him while he may be found, you're going to be caught out there. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun, you see. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It have old time, which was before us, and that's what we're witnessing. This stock market crash has been of old time. Now, while I was doing my research, I came across this article right here uh, from the Bloomberg Opinion. It says stock traders should heed the lessons of the 1930s. Now, I'm not going to read this entire article, okay? But it just shows, you know, these devils never learn their lesson. Okay, they keep going and going. Oh, have grape gatherers gathered till they had enough? These fools don't know when to say when, and that's how the Lord has them caught up in a trap. Okay, it says, "Don't be fooled by the recent rebound in stocks. An investment scene is beginning to resemble the 1929 market crash and the early 1930s Great Depression." So what are we saying? We're saying the Lord is going to send this place into a death spiral, man. All right, what do they say? Circling the drain, right? It says in the roaring 20s, the Dow Jones industry average jumped 500% from August 1921 to September 1929. It then plunged 48% from September 3rd to November 13th, 1929. To many, that seemed like a reasonable correction of the 1920s exuberance. The economy was fully employed, and guess what? At one point in time, this economy was fully employed, right? The economy was fully employed and growing rapidly. That's what Trump said, right? And most look forward to more expansion and higher stock prices. Only days before the crash, the prominent economist Irving Fisher stated that stock prices have reached what looks like a permanent high plateau, and the market was only shaking out of the lieutenant freeze. All right, and that's the pride of these devils. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to read all of this article, but we're going to go back to this video and let it play out the last 4 minutes. You're going to hear the same information that I just read regarding the 1929 crash, how the stock markets have went up a certain percent. Okay, let's play it. Let's continue.
One of the keys to being a successful investor is making sure you're interpreting the facts right. Trusting blindly any sources, especially the mainstream media, may put you at risk of investing based on poor or faulty information. That's the argument of Andy Lapierre, head of U.S. policy research at Cornerstone Macro, in a recent study examining the level of bias in news sources. He found that there is no common set of basic facts that most people operate from. For investors, Andy highlights that it's crucial that they are intentional about consuming a balanced diet of news coverage, which includes checking sources you wouldn't typically go to. Andy calls mainstream news as political junk food. And it seems that this is the exact source the freshest group of investors who just entered the markets in 2020 are getting their investment information from. There's no wonder why so many doomsday predictions for the markets are being shared by several experts. One of the latest comes from Edward Yardeni, who affirmed to be concerned that the market will get smoked. The longtime investor, who spent decades running investment strategy for firms including Prudential and Deutsche Bank, is also comparing the Wall Street frenzy to the peak of the dot-com bubble. He said the NASDAQ from late 1998 to early 2000 went up over 200%. Now we're up almost 100%, and we may very well be on that same track. Everything I'm looking at points to a melt-up, he asserted in an interview. Yardeni is also stressing that Bitcoin's meteoric surge is an example of extreme effervescence. It increased 36% in the first 5 trading days of the year, and it's been above 300% over the past 6 months. It's just part of the bull market in everything, he maintained. It's very important, whether you're in or not in Bitcoin, to just stare at the chart and realize when it's going straight up, it's certainly a sign of exuberance, of speculative excess. More concerningly, even amid a recovery and a hypothetical booming economy, according to Yardeni, that would prompt inflation up due to the massive amounts of stimulus and demand increases. In the second half of the year, we may be on the lookout for some consumer price inflation, which would not be good for overvalued assets, he said. Likewise, macro strategist David Hunter is predicting a massive melt-up in financial assets, taking into account all the determinants mentioned by all of the experts we've reported throughout this video. A market crash? Well, it's not a matter of if, but when. Hunter's perception is remarkably the most aggressive of them all. He forecasts that a 65 to 80% crash in prices may happen by the end of this year. However extreme it may seem, historic patterns and current evidence seems to be on his side. Every time excessive debt has enabled market assets to distort to unsustainably excessive heights, which is exactly what we're seeing right now and at unparalleled levels, a dramatic correction to clear out the bad debt and malinvestment has always occurred. In short, we are moving towards the most dramatic correction ever recorded. When this bubble finally bursts.
See, when this bubble finally bursts, man, it's just a matter of time. The Lord has placed this place is it's been found wanting. All right, and it's just a matter of time. Let's go to Zephaniah. Okay, Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh Shai, that there shall be a noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. Yeah, this fish gate is where a market was conducted back in that time. Okay, how ye inhabitants of Maktesh, right? For all the merchant people are cut down. All they that bear silver are cut off. Yeah, your FRNs are no longer going to be of value, man. Okay, let's see. The brother put a beautiful scripture. Let's get it. GMS in the truth of Orlando, James 5 and verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, your garments are moth eaten, your gold and silver are cankered. That's beautiful. And the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh with fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. Yeah. These treasures are not going to be of any value to you, especially when these gurkha shoots kick in your door. Okay? Let's go to back to Ecclesiastes. Okay? Chapter 12. Because the signs are plain to those the Lord have given eyesight to. It reads, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. Yeah, we're remembering Yahweh Shah in the days of our youth, right? While the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return from rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. Yeah, the keepers of the house, right? These so-called banker elites, they see what's going on. When the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. Then we see in that article about the massive layoffs and how they're trying to give out more and more stimulus, which creates more and more debt. You know, you read that in Habakkuk, woe who laid on himself with thick clay, right? And the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be dark. And yeah, there's no hope. All right. Matter of fact, let me write down the precept before I forget it. Yep. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, and the sound of grinding is low, and he shall rise up to the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Yeah. You got guys rising up early trying to find work, right? And the daughters of music shall be brought low. Man, there's no good music anymore, right? And guess what? Babylon is broken. It's falling. It can't get up, man. Okay? Let's go to Jeremiah 51. All right? And that's what these people that this place is on CPR. All right, and is keep getting a shot of a stimulus here. All right, that's what happened in 2008. They gave the economy a shot. Stimulus trying to recover. This place has been on a decline for a minute, man. All right, and the Lord has beautifully broken down Babylon. This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. Yeah, how do you flee Babylon? You come out of the ways of Babylon the Great. All right, you're no longer doing these abominable holidays. You're no longer celebrating your birthday. Okay, it says, "For this is the time of the Lord's Yahweh Bashal vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's Yahweh Bashal hand that have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken her wine, therefore the nations are mad." Yeah, and they've taken up stock market, right? Because they seen Babylon the Great do. Okay? And these nations, once they see those FINs crash and there's no hope in their economy, guess what? They're going to be mad at the whore for amongst other things, right? Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take bond for her pain. If so be she may be healed. Yeah, but she's not going to be healed. Okay? It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. And that's what you're seeing now. These people are getting the hell out of Babylon the Great. Why? Because there's no more money to be made here. All right, everything is shut down. Okay, you see how Biden want to really close down everything in his first 100 days. What is that going to cause? More and more economy headache that cause this place to fall. All right, and it's part of the global elites plan, right? To introduce that UBI, universal basic income, right, which is going to be on that microchip. Okay, the RFID, the NFC microchip, right, which is the mark of the beast. Okay, this is part of the wicked elite's agenda, but guess what? It's more important. It's part of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's agenda. He's the one who's bringing these things forward, right? Let's go to Second Ezra. I see you boys lighting it up. You men lighting it up on the comment board. We'll get to it, Lord willing. Let's go to Second Ezra. It's beautiful, but we see the day approaching. All right, the Lord has set up watchmen. You know, every brother has his own talent to bring out different various stories, and it comes together beautifully. Okay, Second Ezra, chapter 6, and let's start at verse 20. Second Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 20. And when the world shall begin to vanish away, shall be finished, then will I show these tokens, and the books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. And that's what we're witnessing. These tokens being shown. The books are open. All right. And guess what? We're seeing all together by what? By way of the internet. Okay. It says the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. Yeah, you come into this truth, you eat that roll. Guess what? The Lord is going to have you speak these words. It says the women with children shall bring forth untimely children. Excuse me, the women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 and 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be empty. You see? And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, shall be suddenly afraid. And these are the tokens that we're seeing right now, right? It says, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of fountains shall stand still. In 3 hours they shall not run. Yeah, and Elder Malcolm went into that precept yesterday, how now the water is now associated with the electric. So when the power go out, the water's not going to run, man. Okay, these are the plagues that Yahweh Shashai has prepared for Egypt. Okay, modern day Egypt is Babylon the Great, aka America. All right, verse 25. And whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your word. You see? So the Lord has said, what? Those who seek him while he may be found, seek the Creator early. Guess what? He said, those that remain shall escape. You got to be in danger to escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. It says, and the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth, and the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. You see? As for faith, it shall flourish. And that's what we're saying now. All right? To the believers, to the men that's out on the highways and byways bringing out this word, this is faith flourishing. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared. And that's the process that we're in, man. All right, we're in the process of Yahweh Shah lifting up His people. All right, and bringing faith to them. Okay. Now let's get some scriptures off the comment board. Hey, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash Barakatham to the brothers and sisters on the comment board. Shalom. Okay, we got the brother Gabar Dama. Ezekiel chapter 28 and verse 16. By the multitude of thy merchandise, they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned before. Therefore, I will cast thee as a profane out of the mountains of the Most High, and will destroy thee, O thee covering cherubim. Yeah, Esau has been, blocking the way back to the truth. He's been that cherubim, right? It says from the midst of the stones of fire, right? Brother GMS Adon to Zion, Shalom, Ecclesiastes 7 and 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that that wisdom giveth life to them that have her. Let's read this again. Ecclesiastes 7 and 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have her. Yeah, and that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is going to protect us in these times, right? The brother GMS in the truth, Orlando, Proverbs 11 and 28. He that trusteth in his riches shall fall. Yeah, we're not going to trust in money. All right, we're going to trust in Yahweh shall shine, right? But the righteous shall flourish as a branch. Beautiful. Psalms 49, same brother, Psalms 49 and 6 and 7. They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them can be by any means redeemed. None of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to the Most High a ransom for him. Yeah, that's why we need Yahweh Shai, man. We need Yahweh Shai to come back and redeem us from these curses, right? Gabar Dama, Revelation 18 and 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. Yeah, that's what's going to happen, man. They're going to weep and mourn over Babylon the Great. We just read it in Jeremiah 51. It says, for no man buyeth her merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver, and precious stones, and of pearls, and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and the brass and iron and marble. Yeah, hey man, this place is done. All right, through the power of Yahweh Shah, these words that we're speaking forth. This place is being broken down by something as subtle as a word, man. All right, that should let you know the power that we serving. Right, brother GMS, Adon to Zion, 1 Timothy 6 and 17. Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living power, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. That's right, man. Well, you know, Esau is not going to trust in Yahweh Shah. They're going to continue to trust in their riches. All right? But this is a warning for us. Okay? Don't trust in uncertain riches. Once again, we got to trust in Yahweh Shah. That's what we're going to be leaning on in these last days. All right? Brother Gabar Adama, Lamentations 4 and 17. As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. Yeah, you know, 2/3 of our people look for Esau for all the answers, and that's vain help. It's empty. It says, "In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us." That's right, beautiful. GMS in the Truth Orlando, Proverbs 11 and 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness deliver from death. And yeah, our righteousness is going to be found through Yahweh by Shah. All right, we're going to need him to cover our sins, man. All right, the brother GMS Gabar Adama, Zephaniah 1 and 18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he have for he shall make even a speedy radiance of all them that dwell in the land. That's it. Brother GMS in the Truth Orlando, Jeremiah 50 and 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou shalt, and thou wasn't not aware. Read this again. Jeremiah 50 and 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware, thou art found, and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord Yahweh Shah. That's right. Esau is clean contrary to the ways of Yahweh Shah. From everything, from the most simple mundane things as you eat to his law saying homosexuals can be married, man. All right, brother GMS, Adon to Zion, brother on the third page, Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 25. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. That's right. There's not going to be any peace, man. Lord Scripture says, no peace to the wicked, right? Let's see what else we got. Oh, man, beautiful scriptures, brother. Beautiful. I'll be here all day reading them. Let's jump down a little bit. Nathan Yawasop, Matthew 6 and 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. You see? And the brother bagged him up, GMS Gabar Adama. That may be through the spirit. You know? And that's where we at in this process, man. We in the process of trusting Yahweh Shai to lead us out this danger, protect us, because we see the day approaching, right? Let's see if I get a quick precept. Let's see. Of course. Okay, let's see. Let's go to this chapter. Is this what I want? Nope. Let's go to Romans 10. That's not what I want either. Hebrews 10. And you know what? If you brothers can put it up, I'm looking for, and it's probably just slipping my mind. Um, Now it's high time to awake out of sleep. Is that Romans 13? Uh, let's see. One of you brothers can put it up. High time to awake out of sleep. For now, up there it is. That spirit of the Lord. Thawadi Habba Shabbat. This is Romans, man. That's your most helpless, spot, man. When you trying to remember a precept, you trying to remember something, and the Lord finally get back to you. Hey, the water, brothers, the water. Yahweh Shah Shah Barakatah, the water. So this is Romans, and this is the mindset that we need to be in, right? Romans 13 and 11. And knowing the time that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. See, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk honestly in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envy, but put ye on the Lord Yahweh, put ye on the Lord Yahweh Shahamashiach, and make not provisions for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. Yeah, man. All right, we coming into some heavy times, man. All right, and the signs are being shown. So we need to what? If the spirit on you to fast, fast, man. All right, and we always supposed to be praying always. Okay. Hey, the water for tuning in, the water for your precepts, brothers, and the water for the aquaf in the background in order. You can't not mention that because you see these other comment boards, man. It's so much disorder, it's ridiculous. But that's gonna be it for the lesson. Lord willing, it's been edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well. Much respect to the brothers laboring worldwide in truth and in sincerity, and salutations and blessings to the believers out there who's believing on the words of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Lord willing, coming to you a lesson. Till the next time I say, Shalom.